I'm now offering the opportunity to hop on a consultation call for 1 hour with me. I will never ever be able to change your life, but I will empower you and show you how to change your own life. What's up? Today we're going to tackle the importance of having a foundation. And the key with the foundation is there's going to be so many days that if we desire to accomplish the big goals that we've thought of and set, it is mandatory that when you don't feel like doing things, the hard tasks that you know are helpful and going to build you into a stronger, more intelligent person, we have to do those tasks when we don't want to, when there's no motivation. Okay? So, number one, the importance of a bedtime. The body loves having rhythm, and when you get to bed on time at the same range, I'm not saying it has to be 7:23 every night, you gotta be asleep, but you build a range. Let's say the bedtime is 8 to 9, you have to be asleep by 9, but some days you're asleep at 8. The importance is your body adjusts to that rhythm. And when you continually build sustainable patterns, your body loves that. So you don't even need to set an alarm. Of course, I get it. Sometimes you gotta be up for your job. But if you can build in that habit, so you get to bed at the right time each night, and you don't even need an alarm, but you're still able to wake up at early times when you're supposed to, that is very powerful. It's going to set you up for better sleep, because when you're woken by an alarm, it is not the healthiest thing for you compared to just waking up completely naturally, because your body understands that the cycle it's a rhythm and it's going to be continuous. But overall, we cannot underestimate the importance of sleep. If we get that proper sleep, we're going to be able to function at such higher levels. And I'm not saying that you can't function off 4 hours of sleep, but it isn't sustainable. I know many people, I've seen it many times, I've done it many times, where you get a horrible night's sleep, but you still go and get shit done. I'm not saying you can't, but the rhythm, the sustainability of forming good patterns and habits. Number one, don't forget how key getting to bed on time and giving yourself even 8.5 hours in the bed. Like, these things really add up to build you into a higher capacity human, where you're able to think and create at just next level compared to someone who is just not taking care of those simple aspects of being a human being. So next, we have nutrition. And all these categories go very well together, because we're talking foundation. We're talking simple things that should be emphasized more in middle school and high school, but they're not. I don't know why. Don't get me started. But nutrition, what you eat, and nutrition can expand into the area of your mental nutrition. So if you're listening to something that's horrible and fearful, you're gonna be fearful. On the other hand, if you're listening to information that is helping you learn, and you're figuring out how to build a stronger self-image, you're learning how to pick up new skills, whether it's better communication or a new physical trait or how to cook. There's so many skills that are going to be beneficial to the individual. But the point is, nutrition, what you intake, mental, physically, it affects how you perform, it affects your capacity. It is something that is detrimental to who you become in your future. Here's the simple principle behind being in good shape, or at least not being overweight. You have to expend more calories than you consume. Simple as that. Works for every person. Of course, there's so many different details, but that is the simple thing. You have to expend more calories than you consume. And if you're doing that, you're going to be in good shape. But behind that fact, nutrition. Let's speak on what you eat. Honey, fruit, vegetables, meat. If you stick with that regimen, and of course, I know that there's so many unique experiences and situations where maybe you're not allowed to have one of those things that I just listed. So no, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing principles. Really just focus on making sure that you're consuming less than you're putting out. So with that down, you're going to have a good bedtime or a good night's sleep, and you'll be intaking the proper things. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're continuously listening to horrible content that doesn't make you feel good, that you're not learning from, that's making you scared. No, that does nothing helpful for you. So next we have exercise. Yes, I don't have the best memory, so I had to look down. So with exercise, this is just a way to channel any emotions, whether it's positive, negative, rage, or sadness. You can channel your emotions through using your body. And there's so many different exercises. Like, you have just a bunch of different options. I'm not saying you have to lift weights. You could go ski. If you're not in a winter area, you could go ride a bike. If it's too hot for you, you could go lift weights in an air-conditioned gym. You just have millions of options, and just using your body in general is going to help you channel those emotions, and it's also going to build your confidence as you work out. With the combination of good sleep and nutrition, you're going to look better. And it's not all about aesthetics, but aesthetics, there's nothing wrong with looking good and feeling good, right? So kind of figure out what you really enjoy. Riding a bike for me is amazing. I love lifting weights, a little boxing. You could mix so many different things into your exercise, and that's the beautiful part about it. But make sure that you're using your body, because if you stop using your body, there are so much areas of atrophy that are going to occur. And if you're young, you can stay young for a long time, but you have to take care of your joints and your muscles, your ligaments. So all these things kind of flow together. And I really just cannot emphasize enough how big it is. When you exercise, you are doing so much. You're helping your health. You're helping your self-image. You're building a value, because most people would like to be with another person who is pursuing good things. And if you're drawn to building your best version of your body and working, sweating, pushing yourself to new limits and extending barriers, that's going to help you substantially. So next we have relationships. And the importance of relationships is just, you cannot emphasize this enough. How you talk to people, you need a support system. And it's our job to channel our emotions in a way where we can share feelings and thoughts with people. But even if we're sad, it doesn't mean that we have to push that onto someone else. It could be more so like, you have a cheerleader in your life, you have a consistent person in your life, you have someone who checks you in your life, who makes sure that you're not getting too cocky when you're having your wins. There are so many different areas where different personalities are going to help you. But the whole point of relationships is, isolation is the complete enemy of excellence. Every person has different traits and characteristics that are going to go into situations differently. When you mix different people and characters into your life, you're going to notice that each person has a different thought and a different input that can be very beneficial to you. So to keep people around, I never recommend burning bridges unless it's something that really is just that bad. But for the most part, everyone, no matter who they are, even if they're envious of you and they're checking you, it could still be very beneficial. So make sure you have a bunch of different people in your life. You need a support system. You need someone who loves you, but you also need the people who are going to make sure you're not too cocky, and they're going to say, hey, whoa, what are you doing there? Like, I think you're getting a bit too ahead of yourself. So in general, just expand your horizon of when you talk to people. Try to be open and just give them that full presence. You're going to notice that relationships begin to flourish when you're not putting on any sort of mask for anyone, but you're honest with people, and you're also kind. You don't talk too much. Here's this amazing quote: you have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio. So people love to talk about themselves, and if you could be that person that listens, they're going to like talking to you. And you can help so many people, but also be helped yourself by having relationships. It's just a never-ending circle of beneficial things. So next we have meditation. And this can go into the relationships, the exercise. My point with meditation is you're being present. And this is a plague of our current generation. With the phones, it is so easy to be distracted and to not even get back to your breath. The one thing that we have with us from birth to death is the inhale and exhale. That's the only thing. Everything else disappears, but the inhale and exhale remains forever. So meditation, the power of it is you can draw yourself back to the present moment and be completely withdrawn in that moment. And that is beautiful. If you ever hear the flow state, or if sport athletes are in the zone, that is just another avenue of what meditation is. The ability to be fully present and not be thinking about other things. If you're having a conversation, you have that conversation with eye contact. You're not on your phone. Like, I would much rather have 5 minutes with someone who is 100% present than 5 hours with someone who's 10% present. Don't get me started on that. If someone cannot listen to you and show that they're giving you their presence, it's just very irritating. You don't want to put yourself around those people who don't give you that full attention. It's catastrophic, and it is plaguing our generation because people are so away from their inner feelings, their real presence, that they cannot even reflect and realize what they're doing, their routines, their habits, the way that they're spending their lives. 5 years down the road, they're going to be full of regrets. And it's because they didn't even realize. For maybe 5, 10, 15, people go through their whole lives without realizing that they're not present. And that is bad. It is horrible. So with those things, you can benefit greatly by implementing just small, simple things. Like, I'm not talking about getting rich overnight or anything completely crazy. I'm very not predictable. Very simple things that you can do that will change your capacity, change your mood, change your relationships, change your attitude. And overall, it'll just affect you in such a positive way. So, lastly, we have fulfillment. And fulfillment is probably the most unique thing on this list. Fulfillment is going to be different for every single person because we all have different characteristics, traits, personalities, feelings, and what I love isn't going to be what you love. But that's the best part about it. We're all humans with so much similarities, and then we have so many differences, which make everything unique and create so much abundance. Fulfillment is really figuring out what the individual, what really makes you just enjoy the moment. Whatever gets you into that state of flow. And it could be multiple things. I love having a conversation. Just trying to share wisdom and speak is a form of fulfillment for me, because I've spent much time educating myself, reading, just trying to learn continuously. And by learning, there's this hope that although I'm not your father, I'm not your mother, I could still share with you. Sharing information, whatever topic it's about, just sharing in general is so amazing. So we can't pour from an empty cup. The smartest, most intelligent, responsible, accountable humans are going to fill up their cup, not for greedy, selfish reasons, but to make sure that they are going to be able to help others, because that is how life works. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't really take care of other people. And the more that you learn, the more that you're going to be able to teach. So fulfillment can come in so many different ways, whether it's something very simple. You might be fulfilled by being a server at a restaurant and knowing that you help that family get their food, and something as simple as that. Or it could be larger, where you want to build a brand, build a website, figure out a way to help more people learn and change their mindsets in a way. But whatever your avenue is, you have a passion. You have something that ignites the fire inside of you. But it's our job, your job, to figure out what brings you that fulfillment. And then from there, you can let things begin to compound. Because if you're doing these small things, the bedtime, nutrition, exercise, relationships, what else? Meditation, fulfillment. If you're doing those things, you're going to begin to be fulfilled in all these areas. And each moment that in the past was like suffering in a way where, oh, you just want a Lamborghini, oh, my life's so hard, you're going to turn into someone who can appreciate the smallest of things, like the sun glistening off the water, or the sunset, or birds chirping. But it doesn't happen overnight, so it's important to focus and prioritize doing your best, taking care of each day. When you take care of each day, that's when everything gets really good. Because if you're just projecting into the future, we have so many thoughts of fear. And there's a big difference between fear and danger. But if you don't differentiate those two, fear and danger, sometimes you could just be fearful sitting inside your house. You're warm, you got some hot chocolate, you just had food, you're full, but you could be projecting images of fear into your head. So it's really key to differentiate between fear and danger. And it's a tough situation in our society because we really don't have much danger. But there's so much comfort that we create fear in our heads. And oh man, that is just catastrophic if you don't realize that those fearful thoughts are bullshit. You actually have power over those fear. And you can't control the first thought, but you can control your second thought. So I hope you enjoyed. Just drop me a comment if there's anything that I spoke about that really intrigued you or you want to talk about further. Enjoy yourselves.